Welcome to High Infidelity, the best cheating videos on YouTube. If you enjoy this content, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's get into the video.
My boyfriend isn't okay with me being promiscuous in the past. Update. Thank you for all the advice. I ended up bringing it up yesterday and it instantly turned into an argument again. He asked me why I'm defending thoughts so much yet again, asking me why I cared so much about what he thought about women who sleep around. He then went on to say I should have known better than to sleep with so much guys and that I knew what I was doing. He said I was straight up a thought in my past, but he loves me and is willing to look past it. Yet no. I stood my ground and said I can't be with anyone who sees women like that and that I wasn't going to let him talk to me like that. I broke things off and he called me stupid for thinking he would let me break up with him, and that turned into a whole new argument about how I ain't loyal and I ain't no ride or die chick. I also blocked him on all my socials and he is still making accounts to contact me on. Definitely made the right decision to end things. Also to the people who messaged me saying he was right and that I deserve to be dumped. That nobody likes a used-up chick, and many other unkind words. It was so unnecessary, and I hope you step on a Lego. Update 1. My boyfriend isn't okay with me being promiscuous in the past. I'm a 21F dating my BF, 23M. I understand some people don't like their partner's body count and it can be a deal breaker in some cases, but my boyfriend asked me what my body count was and told me not to lie to him, and I was completely honest to him. My body count is more than 10 but less than 20. Not going to be completely specific, and he got upset right away and stated since I'm a woman, I should hold myself to a higher standard. He has said that women who are promiscuous deserve to be treated like thoughts, and I got offended about that. He thought that I'm overreacting for getting offended at him telling me that. We ended up making up and moving on, and he doesn't mistreat me often, but he has showed signs. He doesn't trust me as much since that whole conversation, like he constantly needs to see my location. Now, edit. He did specify that I wasn't a thought and he wasn't calling me one. He says that he can respect women but not thoughts. He says that it's his opinion and I was weird for being offended. But I will be rethinking our relationship. Edit. While I got more replies than I thought I would get, thank you all for the advice. I have been trying to read every single comment, but there's a lot. A lot of you were asking what his body count was, and it was lower than me, which is also a reason why he hated my number. But I will bring this up later on after I'm done work and have another talk with him. Story 2. Thinking about leaving my wife and child. Thoughts. I'll 32M be real, if it hadn't been for my son, I would have ended the marriage already. Things were good back then between us. Wife and I were going to marriage counseling because I confessed to her I was falling out of love and wasn't happy in the marriage anymore, so she insisted we try to work out our problems. We did try it. Open up, have better communication, tried to be more affectionate with each other and connect more as a couple. More romantic date nights and spontaneous trips. Basically to find that spark again. None of it worked, and I was ready to call it quits after a year until we found out she was pregnant. Now for me, I always thought we were set on never ever having kids. That was something mentioned when we were first dating. I was pretty relieved she felt the same way about not wanting kids. To me, I just never liked them. Not what I wanted for my life at all. But Ansu found out she wanted to keep the baby. It was a whole other conflict. I didn't want to be a father, but she wanted him. For a while, I kept bringing up the options of abortion or maybe adopting. But in the end, that didn't go anywhere. And I thought, okay, well, parents split up all the time, even with kids involved. However, that just gave me a lot of backlash from everyone about what an asshole I am because who even thinks about leaving their pregnant wife. I feel my biggest mistake was letting myself believe that maybe with a family we can make it work. Being there for her and the baby, that I'd just get that love for them and it'll work out along with the therapy we had done. Now I feel even more miserable. We have family time, date nights when we manage to get a sitter, free time to ourselves every other weekend if possible. I just hate it all. The only time I'm actually content is when I'm not home or get to have a little personal time. Everything going on at home makes me wish I left before there was even a chance of her getting pregnant. But I felt bad not trying to get some help first before throwing in the towel on our marriage. Now there's a baby involved and it's 1000x more complicated. I don't feel any closer to my wife or my son, who's about 13 months now. It's not his fault, I get it. He's a baby. Right now he's been a lot easier to manage and thought by now I might feel closer to him. Sadly, I don't. Part of me just wants to pack my stuff and leave already. That part makes me feel like shit because I'm his father and wouldn't feel right to leave him without one. Just don't know if I can be what they need me to be anymore. Is there really any way to stop feeling this way? At this point, it's like I want to walk out and never look back, but is that really the best thing? For those curious, we did not have unprotected sex. Never wanted to end up in this scenario, so condoms were always used, and she said she was on birth control. That's how it always was in the years we've been together. At #2, it's been brought to my attention that I should probably mention this detail for better advice. I just didn't want to include it before because it was done in the past and my son is already here. But yes, I talked to my wife if this was done deliberately, the pregnancy I mean. And she never denied she had anything to do with tampering. It's still on me for having sex with her regardless, but she did have something to do with it. Like I said, though, I didn't want to focus on that because my son is here anyways and nothing could be done about it now. Update 1. Update. Thinking about leaving my wife and child. Thoughts. I almost forgot that I had posted this but thought I should add an update after all the help. Things have been tough but getting easier day by day. I left my wife's soon-to-be ex. It was rough. Needed to happen though. If I wanted things to improve for my son's sake, I couldn't let myself continue to be stuck in this marriage I wanted out of already. Thanks for those who pushed for that. You were right. It's helped a lot. Not so much the first few weeks. It was so new and then didn't have a place of my own. For about a month, I stayed with family until I found a place for myself and where my son can also stay. My soon-to-be ex obviously didn't take this well. She's brought some family members on her side for abandoning my family. But I didn't abandon myself. When I spoke to a lawyer and got the paperwork started, we also got a temporary custody order to make sure I'd still have time with him. It's only 3 days out of the week, but we'll settle custody stuff as we go through the divorce proceedings to get more time with him. Honestly, the time away really has boosted me up in ways I couldn't imagine. When my son is with me now and I feel lighter, not trapped how I felt before. And I know in my heart I can't ever find myself to not be in his life, no matter how he came into this world. Still seeing the same therapist, and I've been more open about my past to really get to the root of my issues in regards to the disconnect I had been feeling with him. Feels like there's been lots of improvement, and it makes me so hopeful for the relationship I can have with him in the future. He's still so little, and I know there's time to learn to be the dad he needs me to. Thank you so much to all of you here who took the time to really give me amazing advice. I was in a very difficult spot, even if things are still not easy right now. At least I know that this was the best decision to make. And now I get to finally try to bond with my son without any negative feelings about my marriage pulling me back. My wife kissed a girl. Hey, my wife went out with her best friend to a bar. We were supposed to go out together, but she pretty much cared less and went with her friend without me anyway. She came home drunk, and in the morning she was really nice to me. Side note, I found lesbian porn on her phone 2 months prior, and I had a serious talk about being open on her sexuality. If she likes women, it's good to be honest to improve outlet relationship. She denied it. Well, anyway, she's always with her best friend and whenever I'm working and can't get home. Her best friend sleeps over me, not thinking much of it as she's a girl.